podcast time. You already know that. Hello from Wawaka Winery, and this is the Wawaka Experience again. And this time I got some good friends here. How I know them is mainly through Cheryl. I've known you forever. You're basically my sister. And Paul Raiman, he's, would you call yourself a professional photographer? Because I would. But that's me trying to, yeah.
Just photographer. Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting is because, earlier, we're going to show some artwork of yours. Earlier we're flipping through it, and we need to be rolling the cameras now because of the stories that comes with these pictures that you have. But I just wanted to first start with, I Googled you just so I can do a little homework on it. And yeah, it looks like to me you've always had an interest in photography from when you were a kid.
Yeah, actually, good old black and white film development and printing and everything. So yeah, I used to do my own negatives and the whole bit printing. I was in grade school.
Yeah.
I actually built an underwater camera that kind of.
You built it yourself?
Yeah, and it's got kind of
really
screwed things up. Like when I found out that that was the old flash bulb days. So when the flash went off, it sucked up all the oxygen in the camera, and I used a coffee can with a plexiglass front, but it had a plastic lid on the back. So when the bulb went off, it sucked the air, of course, all the water would come in.
Oh.
So I had to put a little thing on the front with a balloon on it, so when the air got sucked in, the balloon would go down and not blow out my camera each time.
Well, I've been darned.
But and that was single shot camera, so every single time they'd have to dick around the camera. But it was fun.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I wouldn't even thought of that. Well, then the years progressed, and you got in the medical field then,
right? Yeah, and that kind of really, between school, college, medical school, and then.
Did you always stick with photography though, as a hobby, or?
I did, but I just didn't have a lot of time to do it. But I did a lot of underwater photography with a real underwater camera then, and stuck to it. But then recently, last how many years now? 10 years or so, I had to retire because of a neurologic problem I have. And so that's given me the time to really pursue the photography aggressively, and that's what we've been doing until Cheryl and I.
I follow you on Facebook because, and I'm not you know me, Cheryl, you've known me, I'm not a real cultured, artsy type, but for it to catch my eye, it's got to be really neat, and I really think, that's why I wanted to have it on here, because I just loved the photos that you take. Do you train yourself to have the eye for? Because I think a person like you can look at something, it's way different from me, and you can capture what and it portrays on a regular guy like me. I don't even know what the process there is. How the heck do you even know what would make a good photo?
Yeah. And I think you do or you don't have an eye for it, baseline. But no, you certainly develop it. I've done everything online. I've never gone to a school to take classes. But there's so much stuff online now that you can do, classes and sessions, etc. The only thing that's tough in terms of that is getting your pictures critiqued, someone to really provide constructive criticism, and so what has happened is, I've met a whole bunch of different photographers, many of whom are professionals, and so you get to know these guys, and you trade pictures, and you say, okay, how would you have done this differently?
Okay.
What did I do wrong? And what would you do differently to make this a better picture? And so you learn tons that way.
Oh yeah,
just lots. So
is everybody pretty open about? I mean, they really good with you, with different people.
As long as you get this business where it's constructive criticism, and they know that that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so you know they look at it. You know, I really would have done this differently because, and that's great. I mean, that's how you learn. That's how you become good. You know, if everybody says, "God, that's the world's greatest picture," you know, I wish I could have taken it.
Yeah.
Well, where do you go with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's cool that all you guys can be able to work together and give suggestions back and forth. Because I come from, you know, well, we were talking before I was racing, and there's some guys that are cool, and there's some guys that would be told dicks to you too. I mean, because, but as we're. Well, that's why I like wine so much, because I've whatever winery I've been out the country winery many times, and I love those guys because whenever a question I ask, and they know what I'm doing, and they always help me in answers, and that's what it sounds like with you, and I love that aspect of it.
And that's great that people, you know, it's big in wines and art too. I mean, it is, you know, and.
Yeah.
And that's great when you find people who are willing to share.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Because, as you know, there's a lot of dicks out there who aren't going to tell you anything
Yeah.
at all. You know, they're going to protect their little.
Yeah, I just don't get that. It's like, dude, yeah, exactly. But you know what? Hey, and the people like that, they get theirs because, you know, they're not going to learn anyways, because who's going to help a guy that's going to, you know, be like that? But. No, I didn't even think about that. But I've seen how many art galleries you've been in, contests. Can you talk some about that? I don't know enough about. I wish I knew what to ask you on this stuff, but I don't know.
It's been a really interesting experience, particularly going from, you know, being a surgeon and your kind of personality and how you work in that discipline to a photographer and arts, etc. I mean, totally kind of different realms, and it's been great. And it's tough when you begin in the artist world to get your niche, to get you know, to be able to show places, or you know, we do these juried art galleries and art shows, etc., and get yourself in. But boy, I tell you, in the last year, it's just kind of exploded. I mean, like in the next, you know, month, I think there's 5 places that were either showing
that's awesome.
at the same time.
At the same time,
Oh,
so
really?
you have to have a huge inventory. You have to-
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's great. I mean, it's so neat, and when you're showing art at these places, you meet the neatest people. I mean, the people who, other artists or people who are interested in your artwork, you start talking, you know, as I say, every picture's got a story.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's fascinating. And then they have stories about stuff they've done, or, you know, it's funny too, they come up there, you know, now, I took this picture. I think it's really great. But what would you have done to, you know?
Yeah.
Let's say you look at a picture on their iPhone, and well, you know, here's what I would have done maybe a little differently, or said, you know, that's perfect. I wouldn't have done anything different.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Stories behind pictures, and I want to show some of your artwork you got going on now. Now we were discussing this picture we got up on the screen. And I like the story you told about this picture.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We had driven by. I'd gotten a hint actually from a potter who lives in North Manchester about this cool staircase, and so we drove by and I thought, wow, that's really neat, and it really is very intricate. So I took some shots during the day, you know, with regular light, etc. I thought, I really got to see what this looks like at night. I think it's got some real potential.
Is that light that's throwing that shadow? Is that the street lights?
It is, yeah. That's not with a flash.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
So
sorry.
That's not, no. So we went across the street to a diner and ate, and you know, with my problems, you know, walking, I walk with a cane, and everybody saw I have these problems. So went back and saw these cool shadows with the light, but to get the right angle, I had to lay on the ground and, you know, put my can on the ground. I got my camera, you know, and sprawled on the ground. All of a sudden, all these people in the diner saw me run across the street. God, did you fall? You okay? And I thought, oh God. I said, thanks for, you know, worrying about this, but I'm actually trying to do this on purpose.
Hey, you got an awesome photo out of it, because I saw that photo on Facebook and I thought it was really neat. And you're talking about this photo too, about you wanted to capture bird brings them back in the nest. And is this the one the alligators were stalking you?
Yeah, this was down in a little island, Defusky Island.
And you were there also,
I was
too.
there, I was the alligator watcher.
This little strip of land between two ponds, and each pond had its resident alligator. One was about an 8-footer on the left, and one was about a 6-footer on the right. But the 8-footer was getting really aggressive and actually stalking us. And you could see, just the two eyes and coming up. And we were fortunate in a golf cart, so if we had to peel out, we could.
Yeah.
But Cheryl was the alligator spotter, and I was a photographer, and I was hoping to get that picture with the osprey bringing a.
That's hilarious. Yeah, well, I don't know. I've done a lot of crazy things in my life, but alligators, I don't know if I would have.
Fast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I remember I went to Florida when I was in high school, my senior year, and me and my buddy found just a baby one in a channel, and this guy from Warsaw, he was a doctor, and he'd been drinking, and he dared us to go down and wrestle an alligator. I'm like, dude, you may be loaded, but I'm not. He wanted to give me $20 for wrestle an alligator. It wasn't happening. But now here, and you brought the print for me.
I did. Yep.
And I really appreciate it. We're gonna display this on the wall here at Wawaka Winery.
Cool. Good.
Go well. Yeah. Here you brought me the frame and everything, which I'll look this way. There we go. This way. Now we'll show it up on the screen. But this is this picture here. If someone would nail me down, and I hate when people do that, but if they'd say, "What's your favorite bird?" I would say hummingbirds.
Yeah.
I love those little birds. And now, could you bring back a hummingbird again, Coda? Could you tell us? Because I know this one took a lot of work.
Yeah, the whole idea came from when Cheryl and I were on our deck, sitting there, and we had a glass of wine, and a wasp came up the edge of the glass to get the sugar, and I thought, if a wasp will do this.
Was that actual wine that was in there?
No, it's nectar.
Oh, okay.
I tell people I did not contribute to the hummingbird, but no, it's hummingbird nectar, and so attracted hummingbirds with just a regular feeder, and then took the feeder away and put this out, and just waited. And a bunch of different birds came, but it was about 5 hours of sitting and about 240 images, and then after I took all these images and I went through them and. I got one.
That is such a. You guys were here when I had that a bunch of people here when I first built this thing. Yeah, and you showed me a picture, and my jaw dropped because I love hummingbirds, and that one just blows my mind.
It fits your discipline.
Yeah, and it's gonna look good up on the. There's the spot where it's gonna go.
Good.
It's going up well. That other painting there is my old Uncle Eldon. He used to be a political cartoonist, and that's the only reason I have that. That's my parents were gonna throw away that painting years ago, and I'm like, don't do that. It's Uncle Eldon's, and I don't care if it's worth anything or not. But it's my Uncle Eldon because me and Uncle Eldon he talks slow like Jason, and I'll be damned if they're gonna throw it away. And I've kept that. I've lugged that all over my whole life. And I thought, no, that's going in the winery. So yours is gonna be right beside Uncle Eldon. But yeah, here I saw this picture on Facebook, and you took. Where was this at?
Yeah, it's in Hocking Hills Park. It's in about 40 miles south of Columbus, and this is called Cedar Falls.
That's
and
gorgeous.
It's really pretty, and as you can imagine, for me, there's about 100. What we counted, 135 or
135 steps.
135 steps to get this thing.
Oh geez, yeah.
So that's a little bit of a challenge, but got there, and it is. It's a neat place.
That is, yeah.
Hocking Hills as such, God, what a great place to go hiking.
Is it really good?
It's so close.
That's what I want to do. Some more things like that. Once I get I'm almost done with the deck out here, and once I get everything under my belt where I feel good, I want to take up hiking. I smoke, and you know that. I want to quit smoking because I figured if I take up hiking, I won't have a choice. I gotta quit smoking. Either that or a lung gonna fly out of my mouth. But this picture is that. I got a question about this. Is that in Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been to that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized that.
That's Waddington Lighthouse.
Like you said, that was a cold ass shoot.
Yes, it was. It was very cold.
But go ahead.
Yeah, that's just Waddington Lighthouse, and you can see there's all these seagulls down on the water, but then there's that one up at the top of the picture, so we call the name of this picture Perseverance, because of the one bird that's flying.
That's
got
a
his
good
ass
name.
out in the wind.
I like it. I like it. That's a good name for that. And what else we got up there, Dakota?
But I didn't want to do people because I wasn't sure about like you have to get their permission.
I've got everybody who's I've shot
Do the
has,
people.
has signed.
Do the people, because there's a couple gals on there that you know. One time I bought a camera at a garage sale. A guy used to be a photographer over in Topeka, and it's a 35 millimeter Canon. It's got flashes on, all that stuff that's over my head, and I went to try it, and I'm not very good at it. But you know how many girlfriends I've tried to convince that I'm a photographer? I'll take tasty photos. And none of them go for it. But,
Yeah, this is in Fort Wayne. This particular model I've done a bunch of shoots with. She's just one of these people that, you don't have to tell her what to do at all.
she knows her
She's
stuff.
amazing.
She knows her poses
She
and
is
the right
amazing.
places. Yeah.
That would be nice to work with somebody, that really knows her stuff. Well, she's pretty good there. Shut up. He knows I'm a pig too. But no, that's a good picture. A lot more tasty than I had in mind when I had my camera.
The irony. Isn't it nice to work with somebody that knows what they're doing?
Yeah. But hit on that Harley Quinn one. You said that was for what's it called? Cosplay. Yeah. That was a good picture.
Yep.
That was a good picture. Is that in Fort Wayne too?
Yeah, in fact,
Okay.
that same area is the first picture, just a different tract of alleyways in that region.
Go to the far left. No, that right there. I know that girl. You were very the photos I've seen of you on Facebook that
Thank you.
you could be a model yourself.
Oh, you're
I'm not
very-
kidding you.
you're very
You
generous
are
with your
very
compliments.
what do you call it? Photogenic.
There you go.
Thank you.
There's more photos of you that I see on Facebook that I was like, wow, that was
Thank you.
pretty good. Let's see. Bugs. You said this spider web. A lot of people had a lot of questions about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of, it's funny that this is up in Michigan, and we woke up in the morning and all of a sudden, wasn't there the night before, and these spiders constructed this thing.
They did that overnight?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
It was
Wow.
right across the river, so when we walked out, there was dew on it, and it was just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, you have dew on the spider web, and it really highlights.
And there was
that.
this mist going on, and what happened then is these sunbeams would shoot through the mist and go right on the cobweb, on the spider web, and really highlight it, make it really prominent. And
Wow.
so it's kind of a little eerie, it's different.
But it's wild. Nature, it has its own artists that
Oh
work
my
too.
God.
That we do,
Yeah, and that's what you just got to figure out, how the hell to capture it.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, we have a lot of fun, and it was just.
You gotta be focused in doing this, because I remember one time. Oh, just across the woods here, I was bored, and if I get bored, I look for something to do, and that Canon I took, I thought I'm gonna go out in these woods here and see if I can get a picture of deer, and I know the trail I'd take, and so I climbed up a tree, and I was sitting at a tree just waiting for a deer or something to go by. Well, I got caught in the moment so much. It wasn't a deer. It was I saw some off to my left in my peripheral. I saw some motion. I looked down, a little squirrel. Squirrel. And there was a hawk that I didn't know that was up in the tree. Now, you'd probably think they'd get your camera out. I was just in the moment in awe because that hawk just dropped out, came down, and smothered the squirrel.
Oh my God.
I thought, oh my gosh, he's screwed. And I so wish I'd been a better photographer, because I just stood there the whole time with my mouth open. I didn't even think about the camera because I was just watching what was going on.
Yeah.
And this hawk got its talons in on him. started going up 20 foot in the air. And this squirrel is my hero because that little booger didn't quit fighting. He did a flip, got loose, dropped, hit the ground running, and I thought, holy cow. And the whole time, then after it was all done, I thought that was the neatest thing I ever saw. Why didn't I take a picture? But I was just so engulfed in what was happening at the time. It was cool. But I saw this picture on Facebook too.
Yeah, that's
That's a neat picture, the sunset.
Yeah, those are Saniel cranes, and it's at that what's it called? The
Jasper Pulaski.
I know what you're talking
3
about.
hours west
Yeah.
here. And they had this big migration that was taken like in November, and thousands of these birds come in. It's
Wow.
like, you know, they're
That's
big,
amazing.
big birds. It's not like
bet.
pterodactyls, but
Oh, I bet.
just like anything in photography, it's the right place, the right time. So, you know,
Yeah.
I set up my camera, I see the sun setting, and there's birds everywhere, but none are doing what I want it to do in terms of a sunset picture. And then all of a sudden, this one flight looks like, oh my God, you know, it's going to do what I want to do. So, you know, just all of a sudden, when it hit the area, just click, 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 click.
Hey,
and
that was nice. Well, it's funny that we brought up cranes. I didn't tell Coda to bring him up, but I really like his photo. But, you know, we're at Wawaka Winery, and Wawaka is a unique name. And I've done research, and evidently, from what I've researched, now I'm not saying this is God's truth, but that's what the internets tell me, is Wawaka is well, when I was a kid, my dad told me that someone snuck up behind an Indian and goosed him and yelled out Wawaka. I believed that for like 10 years. But what the internet said is the meaning behind Wawaka means big crane.
Oh.
And so, yeah, it's just funny he brought up pictures of cranes. I remember one day I was outside and I saw a crane go by and I just yelled out Wawaka. Well, that's cool. Yeah, pull up those underground, underwater. The eel. As my tech guy Coda that's always helping me out. He likes eels, and tell us about this picture.
Yeah, that's it's kind of fun because that was done with film photography. You know, it was film or slides, and God, you know, particularly with underwater photography, you know, for the number of pictures you took compared to what were good ones, was slides to shoot everything in slides because it was cheaper than film than developing prints. And this was actually, where did I take this? This was in the Turks and Caicos, and I did a lot of my shoots down there. But yeah, this is spotted moray. But what's really kind of cool though is with these slides that I took, you know, I kept all my slides. You know, I can convert those to digital images.
Oh.
So, you know, I can put them on Lightroom and Photoshop and kind of, you know, dress them up a little bit in terms of getting their color like they used to be and figure them out and then print them and all that much easier. So I've almost all my slides of underwater stuff. That was done with an old Nikonus, you know, film camera. Things have changed a lot since then.
Oh yeah, that's it. Nobody uses regular film anymore, do they?
No, a few people. You know, there like particularly some black and white photographers still do the 4" by 5" negatives, you know, big cameras.
Yeah.
Because you can blow that stuff up, you know, huge.
Oh, okay.
Resolution.
Ah.
And that's like, you know, a famous outdoor photographer, Ansel Adams, used to use, you know, big stuff like that too, just for that reason.
Okay. Okay. Then what's this? Oh, I see. What is that?
It's a cleaner shrimp. It's a Caribbean shrimp.
Wow.
Just on an anemone, and that's where it, you know, sits for its protection. Just waits for stuff that it can kind of nibble on.
And the
But it's kind of cool.
colors
It's
on
got
that
red,
thing
white,
is,
red, white, and blue. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Huh. I'll be darned. Yeah, it's one of these days when I get older and don't have to rely on trail factories so much, I want to do a little traveling and see, because there's a lot more stuff out there than when I see Wawaka, I know that for sure.
We talked about doing like overseas travel and things like that. We've done some of that.
Yeah.
There is so much in the United
Oh my
States
God.
that is beautiful that we have never seen.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
we're focusing on that.
But just like we were talking earlier, and Coda, you were telling, what was that place you were telling about? Tell us about
David Rogers.
What is it?
David Rogers. Park.
David Rogers Park. I never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
And like Coda said, 10 minutes from here.
Yeah, cool.
And like I said, you know, sometimes it takes an out-of-towner to point out to the locals what we're overseeing, just taken for granted. Also, really.
Well, just like those stairs, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
And everybody knows New Orleans.
Yeah.
You know, it's 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah, North Manchester. Yeah, that does not look like that is in North Manchester.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, people thought it was in New Orleans or someplace like that. And that's
Well,
what.
just like that. So he has the photographer's eye. So we drive by and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, and immediately he says, we have to go back and get that picture. Like he saw it.
Yeah.
I just thought it looked great.
Exactly. That's what you and me are like. Oh, that's pretty neat. And somebody is trained that's been doing it and really got the trained photographer eye for it. Like, hey, we need to. That's really something special, and that's what I think is neat about your artwork. And like I said, I'm not a cultured person, but your stuff really has caught my eye. I know what I like, and you really have captured, well, just like these. I don't even know what these kind of flowers are, but I mean that's
the Michigan lilies.
Michigan tiger lilies.
Yeah. And,
so are those related to the lilies that grow in our ditches around here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Very same, and it's interesting because you like these flower pictures. You learn different techniques. Because one thing that happens with flower pictures where you're trying to get a bunch of them is that like the ones in front are in focus and the ones in back aren't.
Yeah.
And it kind of distracts. So that's like I said, that you learn things online in terms of these techniques that what's called stacking, where you take your like a series of 6 photos at different focal lengths and then combine
that.
And
Okay.
then negate out the blurry stuff, and so you get everything in sharp view.
Huh.
Yeah, there's all kinds of neat stuff that you learn, tricks.
Yeah,
that
I
make it.
Well, I remember. Yeah, now you say that. Because I remember taking stuff and something you went. Yeah, I just bought that camera because it was dirt cheap. And I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a try. But yeah, I was a better race car driver than I was a photographer. That ain't one of the alligators that were chasing.
No, that was actually the Everglades.
Oh, really?
That was really the guy, the airboat guy that we had taken around said, "Yeah, you're damn lucky that's a male." And he said, "So what do you mean?" He goes,
Yeah.
"If that had been a female," he said, "you'd be dead." Because it was a real low boat. There was just the pilot and Cheryl and I, and so it sat really low. And he said that thing would have climbed up here. And
Really?
just attacked it.
The females are more aggressive?
Because they're protecting their nests.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. The same goes with
With the live, right?
grizzlies. I've heard of guys hunting. I've heard different stories, and one guy I know that he thank God it was a male bear that was. No. He bumped into a sow.
Yeah,
It was and he said the problem was she had a cub,
absolutely.
and she was pretty much stalking the guy. And he said, every time she presented herself, look as big as he can. With a grizzly, that's what you're down to. Oh, look as big as you can. So, but luckily they got out of there. But they say the females way more dangerous than males. When you think about it, they got more to protect too. The males don't.
Going back to when you said you saw that hawk come down with the squirrel and you
Yeah.
could take a picture. We were on a fishing trip and a grizzly crossed behind me and then
wow.
to my left. I had the camera. I was afraid the grizzly wouldn't like the noise of the shutter, so I did not push the button.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
I did not push the button.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. That would be yeah.
Intimidating.
Well, I was watching I don't know what podcast. I think it was maybe Joe Rogan podcast. They had her in there, and they were talking about grizzlies, and they were talking about Bigfoot too. He goes, "Screw Bigfoot. There's a monster out there. They're grizzlies." Yeah. But here, is this a beefalo or a buffalo?
Yeah, well, what are they? Bison, yeah.
Bison.
Or is it bison?
Well, it's funny that the reason it's because we have a friend who made sure that we do that this is not a buffalo, that they're called bison.
Oh, really adamant about it, huh? Okay, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is actually up in the Yukon, up in Canada, and yeah, these things are in the wild right along the.
Is that a wild one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not on a farm.
No, along the Alaskan Highway.
Oh, wow.
And was interesting when I took this picture. Actually, there was this whole big group, and there were about 3 males in this big group, and of course, some guy gets out of his car because he wants to get a closer picture.
Yeah.
So he goes up, and it may have well been this bull. He goes up and starts taking these pictures. Well, of course, he doesn't like anybody getting towards his ladies.
Oh, absolutely.
He gets up and starts charging the guy, and the only thing that saved his life is the fact that there was a guardrail, a metal guardrail, that he was going to have a hard time getting over.
Yeah.
The guy would have been dead.
Man, yeah, they're. Wow. Here's a little coon.
Yeah.
We got plenty of them a little bigger around here. I know that.
They knock on wood, they haven't found my grapes yet. We got coon hunters out in the woods quite a bit because the farmer had a lot of crop damage from last year, so he's saying coon hunter wants to come over here, and he called me and said it would be okay. I said no, because I
want to find my grapes. So I have that. But he's a young one. It looks like.
Oh yeah, there are 3 real small ones that were going up the river together, and he just happened to stop by. He felt like he wanted his picture taken.
Yeah, evidently. Yeah.
there's a young fawn. Yeah. That looks good. Hit that moose. Down, right there.
Yeah. That was again up in the Yukon. That big bull, and he just sat there and.
Those things. Okay, I have never seen a moose in
Huge.
my life. How big is this guy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know what.
That's got to be. He's standing over our heads, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
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 That thing is ginormous. Well, he's got the muscle tone along with you. You can see it in his hind quarters.
Just nothing but solid muscle.
On that beast gallery, is there a picture of the female crossing? No, I don't have it on there. It was really interesting because when we were in the same area, we were looking at this lake, and saw these 2 things swimming. It was actually a sow elk and her calf.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came up on shore, and Cheryl and I were sitting like really close, and I thought, so.
Oh yeah.
We got underneath this picnic table. I had my camera, and they walked like within 25 feet. Thank God that she was taking care of the guy and didn't notice us, because if she had.
Yeah, she'd have gone in production mode. Yeah.
Well, it was in this really remote area. It was a fly-in only, so we had been dropped off by a floatplane. So she wasn't.
So
used
you're
to
on
people,
your own,
yes,
too.
and she wasn't used to people being around, so we just kind of became part of the picnic table.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was quite intimidating.
Where were these rams?
Yeah, that's Glacier National Park in Montana. They were just kind of doing a little headbutting.
They weren't really. They were just kind of.
They were really slamming, but they were they were.
That's a
kinda,
good picture. I like.
This is my territory, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the photos we've shown. Can you tell people where they can see it so
they're interested in the artwork?
Yeah, it's we have a website. It's called Pere Photography. One word.
Pere
Photography. PERE photography.com.
Yeah.
And and there's a variety of galleries. I'm gonna update it. There's some new stuff I want to put on there. So.
And you said you're coming. You're got some galleries you got to be in here. You're pretty much busy with that.
Right now I have.
What you got going on right now?
Yeah, right now I have some stuff hung up at there's a brand new gallery in Fort Wayne on State Street.
Yeah, what's that called?
The 1415 Gallery.
Okay, because I've seen it on your Facebook page. I want to make my way out there.
A couple weeks ago, and it's mostly painting, but I have some photography there, and that's going to change out periodically.
Is it going good for them now that they just opened?
They did, but they had this grand opening. They had a great turnout.
Well, I tell you, downtown Fort Wayne has impressed me here in the last couple of years. I haven't been into Fort Wayne much. I mean, usually I'm busy or I'm out in the woods doing something. But I really like the fact that things are going like that in the downtown Fort Wayne, 'cause it's really clean. It's clean down there. I think it's a good night out for people.
Oh, no question.
And like, what's that place called again?
1415, yeah.
1415 Gallery. Yeah, I want. I'm at some point when I got free time, I'm gonna go out and see it.
Yeah, the Art Link and of course the museum and all that. Yeah, that riverfront project that they're doing is just amazing.
What's going on? What's going on? I've been kind of keeping an eye on it, and what's going on down there is really. It's not the Fort Wayne it used to be. It's a much better. Fort Wayne used to be a little scary. It's a lot better now. And
he's also part of the gallery in Warsaw, the Lakeland Art Association, which is really nice, and they've made a lot of contacts for us. Introduced us to shows.
They've been probably the stepping stone for me. Is this?
They've really helped out a lot.
Tremendous in terms of getting my stuff out there and contacts and And then end of July, there's a restaurant in Fort Wayne called the Friendly Fox that we're going to be putting stuff up, and that's going to show for about a couple of months.
Oh, that'll be interesting. It's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
And it's got to display artwork, your art in there too.
And they're going to have, I think it's Monday, August 6th or something, they're having a wine tasting appetizer.
Oh, really?
Our show, so people can ask me questions.
I might have to find me a date.
You really should come. It's nice, the great food and
people are really nice people, and we're doing a couple. I've done a few art fairs already, and then I've 2 up in Michigan. I've never done Michigan before, so this will be kind of a new challenge.
Oh yeah,
so it'll be fun. So.
Well, I'm glad you guys came out. Number one, I love you to death. Yeah, I love both of you to death. And number 2, the reason like I said, I'm not very cultured, but I love your artwork. I love what you've done, and I love the fact that so I'm trying to do this podcast just to remind people that I'm trying for this winery and all that. But number 2 is kind of what teach people. Well, not teach people, but show people. Step out of the box every now and then. Absolutely. And that. I wish I would have started doing that at a younger age, but it's not too late. It's never too late. Step out of the box, step out of your comfort zone. Life is interesting when you do that, is what I've discovered. Before I would always this is my little world, and didn't really. But when you step out of that comfort zone, it's scary, but it's exciting at the same time. And I really like the fact that you've taken a hobby and you've done so well with it. And you've stepped out of your comfort zone many times over, it looks like to me.
And drags me along with him.
And in doing so, you guys got a payoff. He gets you a Wawaka Winery hat for this. But I appreciate the picture, the hummingbird picture. If anybody wants to see what we're talking about there, they can come out to Wawaka Winery, and plus. I would like for them to check you out on Pure. Can you repeat that one more time?
Purephotography.com.
Purephotography.com.
Yep.
And just check it out. We didn't show near what you have on that website. The photography is gorgeous. And like you said, he's got the photographer eye that normal people don't. And I'm sure glad you guys came out, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Remind me it's about it's what you did yourself, and that's so critical to go out. Life is short. You need to explore things. Get out of your little your realm of comfort and do something different and special. Just what you're doing here. And it is a challenge, but God, it's fun.
Exactly. And the thing is, I got to make when I was younger, I was always so afraid to fail. And you gotta get that out of your head. Yes, when you're afraid to fail, that holds you back. And I'm not afraid to fail as much as I used to be.
It's funny because there was a surgeon, boy.
Oh yeah. You've got to be on the spot when you're a surgeon.
And so you have that attitude. So you move into the realm of photography, and some people come up and just say, that picture really sucks. And you kind of, Well,
Okay, yeah,
don't
yeah.
get it.
And,
You're fine.
and so,
Yeah.
you know, what do I do to make
What do I do to
better?
improve? Yeah, and yeah.
But, yeah, it's kind of fun.
And I think you did it. I mean, it's looking good. So, well, hey, thanks for coming
Thank you,
up,
Jason,
guys,
very, very
and
much. Appreciate it.
thank
Had a
you.
great time.
And anybody want to check it out? Check it out. Check out the website. Check out the photo galleries in Fort Wayne and in Warsaw. And I think it's worth it. And any guys out there, you want to brush your lady? Hey, I'm thinking about doing it myself. So have a good night from Wawaka Winery. I think we're good.